Gentrification, too much. They're running us out of here.
DC is one of the most heavily gentrified cities in the country, with widespread displacement of people and the cultures they bring with them.
My name is Virginia Alley. Everybody calls me Mom because I'm old. And I opened Ben's Chili Bowl with my husband Ben on August the 22nd, 1958. Uh-huh. Well, now we've got people in this city and in the DMV and the suburbs in this city. We got people from every corner of the globe. I like that. I like meeting people from other cultures and other backgrounds. So I'm enjoying that. But the community itself was at one time a very segregated, prominent, proud black community. And now it's not that anymore. We say it's not chocolate anymore.
There's always been new things coming in and places going out, even places that were great. Just the culture changes all the time.
The area have changed a whole lot. So, I mean, a lot of buildings going up, a lot of people been moving out, and a lot of people been moving in. Different kind of people been moving out, different kind of people moving in. So it's just a different dynamics of people now. This is in the early 2000s, it was way, way, way different. Yeah. With that change, it's like a lot of different, let's say, gentrification, people, you know what that is. So yeah. But is it a challenge? It was difficult times, but as I said before, we get through it and we're still here. Yeah. Everything around here gotta go. Yeah, they said they're gonna do an aquatic center. Everything gonna be cool, but we ain't gonna be here.
There's a lot of community programs that was in DC that I remember. What change in DC now, definitely the gentrification. I go around Anacostia, 16th Street right now, it is not the same. I just think like a lot of programs, they need more programs to really benefit those kids in those urban areas, but now a lot of the urban areas are gentrified, so those programs are gone.
There has been a lot of gentrification going on in DC, like with new restaurants and lounges and bars. It's more like the city life, but it's more catering towards a different crowd. But it's just never been the same. Like Horse and Dickies, they're at Tony's place. The best chicken wings and mumbo sauce.
Chicken wings and mumbo sauce. But if you go to the Chinese joints in DC, chicken wings and mumbo sauce is what you get.
Mumbo sauce means everything to DC natives. Sweet, tangy, bold, just like the city itself. But as news developments rise and old neighborhoods change, the question remains, who gets to keep the flavor and who gets left behind?
See, that's DC culture. Chicken wings, mumbo sauce, go-go music, live entertainment, like live shows and stuff like that.
Go-go has morphed over the past 50 years. As time progressed, it has changed into different genres of go-go. So I've had that experience, and it's nothing like it. Like it's a whole vibe.
DC, don't take away go-go. Don't take away those spots don't try to mute DC. Like you looking at politicians and, campaigns about muting DC, like don't ever mute DC. DC is like, it's so much history to that.
The hashtag Don't Mute DC movement was started after a noise complaint was made from go-go music, becoming a rallying cry against gentrification. As a result of the mute, Mayor Muriel Bowser signed a bill making go-go the official music of Washington, D.C. For years, businesses have worked tirelessly to keep their restaurants afloat, but gentrification has become an ever-growing challenge. Neighborhoods have transformed, some becoming more diverse, others losing that diversity entirely. These changes have slowly made D.C. unrecognizable over the years.
I'm a co-partner, and the original owners opened in 2003. The last 10 years or so, greater than when we first got here. It was more urban, and now it's more diverse.
This is my business. Yeah. It's been 6 years since 2018, so not too long, but we're really kind of trucking along. We made it through COVID, so really kind of happy to still be here.
Well, my husband had worked his way through school, college, and by working in restaurants. So he wanted to open a little restaurant. And I worked at the bank, and I realized how much fun I had interacting with different people all day. So I thought a restaurant would give me an opportunity to meet a lot more people to enjoy. Yes, I've been doing it now for 67 years. My husband was with me for 51 of those years. Here we are.
Small businesses have gone through many trials and tribulations, whether it be funding gaps, rising costs, and historic challenges. The resilience to run a business in a predominantly corporate city that is gentrified to the point of origin is admirable.
I don't want to call it a struggle. It's kind of like you put your foot down and just tell the world that you're going to be consistent every single day, no matter what life throws at you, no matter what shots you need to take and what sicknesses there are. We still have to power through. Keep your head up high, always.
It is hard work. It is a commitment. It means that you gotta love it. Nobody loves your business as much as you love it.
Access to funding and also just knowledge. And by knowledge, I mean like expertise, right? When you start a business, you kind of have to be the everything person, but no one person is really good at every single thing.
Over time is just trying to balance the higher cost of everything, increased costs across the board.
When we first started, of course, getting the funds to operate and to open is number one. But during the riots, we couldn't even get liability insurance. And we wanted to franchise because we were black. We weren't able to get that kind of support back there. Now my children are working on that and they're doing it. But back in our time, it wasn't that easy to get. Yeah. But we went through the riots. We went through the civil rights movement. They took that frustration out on our own community. We call it the riots. That changed everything, changed the whole neighborhood because it became a ghetto for a long time, and then the drugs moved in and all of that was very bad, but we were able to hang in there. We had a curfew put in place during the riots. We were the only place that was asked to remain open during 3 nights of curfew, which was very scary, but we were able to do that. But when you move on up, during the ghetto period and the drug period, we were able to stay here because we've been here 10 years when it all happened, and because we know that when you treat everybody the way you want to be treated, you won't have a problem.
Chains can be healthy for competition, but they also are the dominant predator hiking up rent. The chains in DC starve out the smaller businesses, pushing historic eateries to the city limits or out of DC entirely.
I get compared to nuts.com a lot, and I like to use it as an example of why we're different, So whatever your business is or food business or whatever you do, it's good to have a competitor or some kind of blueprint to work off of. There's never going to be just one company, right? You just try to be the best you can. Try to be the best you can for the people. That guy with the monocle has nothing on my glasses. You know what I mean? So planners can be their own way, their own path. Nuts.com can be their own path. At the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, we all got to start somewhere, right? And be consistent and continue to strive for greatness. And always remember, it's not just your people around you, it's people that you don't know either. You got to help those people out too.
So our plans in 2025 is to start looking for operations to expand in our neighboring DMV areas. So we have a location currently in Alexandria, Virginia that we opened last April, or actually last March 1st. We also have a location on Georgia Avenue, Washington, D.C., which is a dine-in location. This is our original that, like I said, was here since 2003. And we plan to go to Maryland next in the PG County area.
I'm not anti. I'm a little anti-chain, but I think that that I believe in abundance, so we can all make it. I think there's just room for any and everyone who wants to kind of start a business or do something. Chains have more money and more access to spend, so it's a little bit tough competing with them sometimes. But generally, their product isn't as good, so it kind of balances out.
Areas with less foot traffic often have fewer chains because the demand isn't there. As city costs rise, many businesses have been forced to move out entirely. Corporations move in and prices rise higher, causing a vicious cycle of gentrification. What's left behind is a quieter, less diverse dining scene.
And there's no more small businesses. No, none. Everything is sky high. A Greek restaurant. They put a Chipotle in it.
There aren't as many chain restaurants, but there are some that are moving into the area, not necessarily on U Street, but across 14th Street and so forth. So there's some, but not much of an impact as a result of the changes. As you can see, a big chain is going to come into an area where they have a lot of foot traffic, and at the moment we don't have a significant foot traffic. And then that's it's not as incentivizing for them to move into the area.
Well, guess what? Most of our business come from the school, and I mean walk-ins, patrons, and all of that. But the school sustains it a whole lot. The kids, yeah.
A lot of the really good restaurants have actually moved out of the city.
Horace and Dickie's on 8th Street in Northeast. It's not still there. It did close recently. It stayed for a long time. I think they actually moved to PG County, so they're not like closed, but they left that historic spot on H. Yeah.
I go to a lot of places in the suburbs now just because they used to be downtown, but they just can't afford to be in the city anymore. And the rents are too high, the taxes are too high, and they can't afford it. So they've had to move to smaller places, even just outside the DC line, a few miles out. Yeah.
What were once small restaurants serving fresh, home-cooked meals have turned into fast food spots focused on speed over quality. The love and care that went into cooking is being replaced by convenience. Healthy, soulful food is disappearing, and with it, a piece of the community's heart.
Throughout my day in the DMV area, I used to see that it was a lot of restaurants. It was Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, but then there was a Cane's, then there was a Chick-fil-A, then down the street, not even 0.5 miles is another Chick-fil-A and another McDonald's. There's like 3 McDonald's in a 1 mile span, and I think that says a lot. Because you don't need that much convenience. You don't need that many fries.
If I think back, I would say that there's a proliferation of fast food. And actually, I view that, as an unfortunate evolution, moving away from the little kitchens that, people used to set up and, cook and actually serve food.
Everything's getting faster. Fast, fast, fast. It's all about fast. People don't really care about why they're eating no more to nourish their bodies.
Food is like healthy, fresh food. That's my food culture, clean food. Yeah.
When you cook with love, it tastes different. And that takes time. That's going to take time and patience. When that fast food keep on going, like, I don't know, it's just scary how readily available food that's not good for us is.
In my neighborhood, there is a lack of healthy food. And for me, that's a problem. There's a lot of fried food that's available. Everything from seafood to chicken, it's fried. And of course, so that's deep fat fried and fast. So I complain about that all the time to my children and any who will listen, because I understand nutrition and what keeps the body working. So that's where I am.
With apps like DoorDash reshaping how we eat, dining habits have shifted. Fewer people sit down for meals, and more order from their phones. Some businesses have adapted and thrived in this new model, while others struggle to keep up. It's a shift that rewards convenience, but not the value of face-to-face with the local business.
Dining habits are different. A lot of it is third party, like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. It's no longer ordering directly from the restaurant. We've always done delivery. So it's a pizzeria Italian restaurant. So we've always done delivery. The major shift that we did do is catering. We've pushed more of catering as opposed to the regular orders. So that's been the major shift.
Dining habit has been changed. To be very honest with you, the 35% of the business still comes from the carryout, the third party services, which is known as DoorDash, Grubhub, and the Uber Eats. Now the 65% is a dine-in. People come with the, as you know, there are diabetic people, are pescatarian people, are allergic with gluten. So there is a lot. As a restaurant, we always try to provide our best, and these are our serious concern also. When you go through the menu, it clearly indicates what food is prepared for whom.
So COVID for us, because of the way we're designed as a cafeteria style with minimal staff, it actually blew us up in a great way because, you know, we're small space. It's already designed for 6 feet and everything is basically serve and go. So we didn't have bussers, cashiers, servers, prep cook, line cook, managers, bartenders, which hurt a lot of people during COVID because they couldn't really handle the volume of food during that time.
We're operating somewhat in the red, but this month is starting to pick up. We're focused more on the catering side in order to pick up business. But as you can see, the area is not as busy anymore, and part of it is post-COVID impact.
Serving a community is something you can't fake. It takes heart, presence, and real connection. The joy comes not just from good food, but knowing the people you serve. It's about giving back, building trust, and being part of something bigger than business.
I feel like every pastry shop is super packed now. Like I'm also part of the problem. Like I feel like I'm going a lot more frequently. But before COVID, it was you'd always be able to find a seat, But now it's
and I feel like if you want to go out to eat on the weekends, you have to plan ahead and make a reservation for a lot of places. Otherwise, you just have out of luck. And I don't know, you have to be more organized.
You got to fight for your spot.
It's been a very, very successful journey, of which none of us knew in the beginning stages that we'd be here 23 years later, still providing services for our community.
Serving people and making people happy, and food brings people together. So this is just the ideal thing for me to do.
Doing a lot of donations in the area, helping different organizations. A big part of our restaurant is giving back to the community, even when it doesn't make sense. During COVID, we've given away a lot of food.
I really enjoy people, and because we've been here for such a long time, I'm now, I have hired so many young people that have gone through colleges here. We got lots of university and going on and doing better things and then bringing back their children. And now I've got the third generation coming back.
I'm sure everyone has a similar story and a broader mindset of why people do what they do and how they're able to do it every day. That's part of my reason I love to serve people, healthy snacks. It's very simple. There's nothing cliche about it. If you like the market, you understand that a smile on a random person's face based on your product, it makes my day every time. Yeah.